Welcome back to the Lumiose Post, where we talk about all things Pokemon. And today, I want to do something a little bit different. I want to just kind of rant about something. I want to talk about something that I see in the Pokemon community, and I just want to address it. I want to give my thoughts on it, all that. So, I guess this is kind of like a podcast, kind of, in a way, which I do have a podcast, and that's kind of relevant to this discussion, actually. So, on my podcast, if you watch it, the Hidden Power Podcast, if you don't, you totally should. It's a great podcast. I do it with Dusty Go-Goat and Soul Silver Art, who are two other amazing people in the community. But on it, we will, on occasion, address leaks. We will talk about Pokemon leaks. There there's plural. There really is one Pokemon leaker. This person will cover stuff, and we will typically, go over it and review it and talk about it, give our thoughts on it. They typically speak in riddles, so we don't, get it's not like outright, oh, this thing's evolving into this, it's going to be this type, and it's never like that. It's usually like a little riddle that if you can solve it, you can see, oh, I think the Pokemon is, Wooper getting a Powdam form and evolving into a Pokemon that's going to be poison type. Huh, that's weird. Things like that. I'm not going to go over any specific leaks today, so no worries on that, but I just want to talk about the leak atmosphere, if you will, for a moment here, because I think there is some interesting stuff I've noticed. So, first off, I will say, too, this video is not addressed, at anyone. This is not something that I saw a person do and thought, oh, I want to, flame that person. It's not like that at all. There's no specific person in mind. I just want to give my thoughts on things because I have seen a lot of discussions on leaks, and I've seen a lot of things happen from leaks and leaks. I say that to say, we kind of refer to leaks as, we'll refer to 4chan posts as leaks. We'll be like, oh, look at this new leak. And, we'll read it, and we'll know it's not real, but we still call it a leak, as a community, right? And that's just kind of weird, because, no, it's a 4chan post. Now, if something in it kind of gets confirmed, well, now it's a leak, but it's kind of like Schrodinger's leak, right? It's not a leak until you know it's a leak. At the moment, it is both a leak and not a leak. I don't know. The point is that I've seen some things in the leaking community, and I wanted to address it. So, first off, I think that one thing I've noticed about Pokemon fans that's a bit of a trigger for me is that people tend to believe things that they want to happen versus believing things from a reliable source or something that sounds plausible. You know what I mean? So, for example, if I right now go on, and I actually don't think it will work because I don't think I'm well known. I only have 7.5K on YouTube, and on Twitter I have even less than that. It's 1.5K. I don't even know that it's even at 1.5K. But I will, if I go on Twitter and I make a new account and I title it, Pokemon DLC 2 leaks, and I say, oh, one thing that's going to happen in DLC 2 is we're going to get a Battle Frontier, and we're going to get, I don't know, Ingo and Emmett Ingo's going to come back in Area 0, and he and Emmett are going to run this battle facility, this Battle Frontier. If I were to post that, there are a lot of people that would believe it. And the reason they would believe it is because they like what they're hearing, right? They have no reason to trust this random account, right? They have no reason to trust it. What I'm saying, honestly, sounds like fan fiction, right? GameFreak's kind of, dodged the Battle Frontier bullet for a while now. And they've even kind of said they don't think a Battle Frontier would really captivate interest in people. So, it's an unrealistic thing. But there are a lot of people who would believe that. They would be like, absolutely, we are getting a Battle Frontier. It's right here. It's on this leak. And then we wouldn't. But people would put their interest in that, their belief in that, just because they like what they're hearing. And that is a huge trigger for me. There are so many accounts. Again, I'm not thinking of any specific one, but there are so many accounts that present themselves as a leaker. And they will say stuff and it won't happen. But then the very next time they say something, people will be like, oh, Bob just said that we're getting regional variants of the Kanto starters in the Indigo disc. And it's like, okay, first off, that doesn't sound like it's true. Second off, Bob has been wrong about it. Like, seriously, every time Bob speaks, he's wrong. The few times Bob has been right, it's been like a super easy prediction, right? Like, it's been like, oh, the Scarlet and Violet DLC will touch on Koraidon and Miraidon. Like, well, that's not a hard guess, Bob. That's pretty easy to figure, Bob. But people buy into it, and that's a big pet peeve for me. And I think there is a discussion. There was actually something recently, I don't want to touch on it too much, but there was something recently where, people were talking about posts that are speculative, but not marked as speculative, right? So, like, for example, one person that I can think of is Soul Silver Art. Soul Silver Art will, who, again, I'm on that podcast with, he will very often post, like, theory in all caps, and then colon, and it'll be his theory, right? Like, he specifies, this is theory, this is speculation, this is a rumor, this is a leak. Like, he'll specify that. And then there are people who, just post things, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as they're not presenting themselves as a leaker, right? And I think that's something, too, is I think people get so mad at the people who present themselves as leakers and post, bullcrap, that they assume that the people who are posting their own speculation are posting it trying to be a leaker, and then get mad at them and kind of accuse them for the same thing. And I think that's the thing, is we need to kind of make our little baskets and figure out who needs to go where, right? Because there's real leakers. There's real people who actually have inside knowledge and have proven over and over and over again they have inside knowledge, who leak. There are fake leakers, which are people who will tell you, oh yeah, I'm a leaker. Yeah, I have inside information. Yeah, I know some stuff that's going on in Scarlet and Violet DLC. And then will say the stuff that's going on, and none of it's true. Or anything that is true, they didn't actually know. They just, either guess something easy or guess something that, they happened to get right. I mean, like, for example, there are plenty of Poketubers who predict stuff, right? Like, I predicted that Kitakami would not be the location next to Paldea on the Paldea map. That's not an impressive prediction, but just bear with me for a moment. Tyrantartube predicted that there would be a, 19th Pokemon type tied to Terapagos, and that is happening in the 19th Terra type. But the difference is, when I was right about this, the Kitakami thing, I did not pretend to be a leaker. When Tyrantartube was right about the 19th Terra type, he did not pretend to be a leaker, right? Like, he was like, oh, I called it, right? Because that's exactly what it was. He called it. He doesn't pretend to be a leaker. But what I'm talking about is there are people who, when they get something right, they'll be like, see, I leaked it. I did that. And it's like, no, you didn't, but that's a big pet peeve for mine. And for the record, these types of people exist across all different medias, right? Like, I keep up with Pokemon leaks. I keep up with Marvel leaks. And then I don't, actively search for them. But if a Star Wars leaks pop up, I might read it. And, in every single one of those fields, there are real leakers. And there are people that are consistently wrong, but keep being leakers. And being leakers, And it's just a pet peeve of mine. But then the other basket, the last basket, is people who, just speculate, and it's honest fun. It's all good speculation. They're not pretending to be a leaker. They're just speculating, and it's fine. But I feel like we don't make those different categories, right? I'm a part of the Marvel Studios spoilers subreddit over on Reddit. They will post Pokemon leaks, and one thing I really like, or Pokemon leaks, Marvel Studios leaks, like things about the MCU, and one thing I really like that they do is they have tiers, right? Like, they'll be like, okay, this post saying that, I'm not going to actually say an actual Marvel Studios spoilers. I'm going to use old movies as a reference. This post saying that Avengers Endgame takes place 5 years after Avengers Infinity War was posted by, Dylan. And Dylan is a tier 1 leaker. He has like a 100% track record. And then they'll say, Charlie says that Bruce Banner and the Hulk are going to like kind of merge and become Professor Hulk. And Charlie, though, he's a tier 3 leaker. He has like a 60% track record. He seems to definitely know stuff, but he, doesn't know everything. He's gotten a lot of stuff wrong. And then likewise, they'll just not post people that don't know what they're talking about. So I feel like we need that, right? Like we need an organized place where we sort people who claim to be leakers into tiers. And we say, this person is a leaker. This person says they're a leaker. They're not, guys. Don't trust them. This person reports on leaks and will act like they are the person behind it. They're not. They're a great source for leaks, but don't believe that they actually know anything. If they can't provide the source, don't trust them. We need things like that. We need to stop dragging people who speculate under the bus because they don't know anything. I have sometimes, I uploaded, what was it? I did my speculative video. I think it was the Unova one. I did a speculative video on how Unova, the next, Pokemon game could be like a Legends Unova. And it was speculative, I did not pretend at any point to, I even say in the video, this probably won't happen. This is just fun speculation. I say that. But there were people, commenting on the video that were like, source, bro, trust me, or don't act like you know. And it's like, I'm not acting like I know. So again, I feel like, to sum all this messy video up, I hope you guys enjoyed this rant. I enjoy these rants. It helps me get things off my chest. I'm actually in less than an hour going on Hidden Power. So this is a nice prep for me getting into podcast mode, right? But I just wanted to address that. Guys, be careful who you trust. If you like something you're hearing, that does not make it true, right? Look at the person's track record. Look, kind of think logically too, can they have this information? I remember in Scarlet and Violet's main run, in its marketing run, there was a person who claimed to have leaks on Scarlet and Violet, and they'd post things, and it was all wrong. But this person was literally, I'm not exaggerating here, it was a 12-year-old kid living in France. And the worst part is, when that knowledge is out there, when people know this is a 12-year-old kid living in France, they still like what they're hearing, and so they're like, yes, this is true. I believe this kid. And logically, how does a 12-year-old get this information? How? Then there is the fact, too, that, again, the 12-year-old is French, and, typically, but not exclusively, when a game leaks, or when, Pokemon is a Japanese-based game, typically when that leaks, it's from the Asian community, right? Typically, it doesn't leak over in the US or Europe. We get the information that leaks from Asia, right? The big Pokemon leaker that is active is Chinese. So, that makes a little more sense. A 12-year-old in France doesn't have access to the freaking Pokemon games, y'all. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this. Open discussion in the comments. Tell me about, your experience with leaks, your thoughts on all these things. Tell me your thoughts on people speculating, who, maybe do you think that's wrong? Do you think there needs to be more, I guess, better labeling? Hey, this is speculation, guys, look out. Do we need to say it 5 times in our sentences? Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. Again, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Bit of a different style for me, but I enjoy doing this. Maybe I need, I don't know, my own channel where I just rant about stuff. But yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, and be watching out. Indigo Disc drops within a week. There might be some leaks on that, but there are people who know that and are going to pretend that they're leaking it, and they're not. So just be careful, be safe out there. I posted this on Twitter, but Einstein said that insanity, I think it was Einstein, maybe it's just people said this. Someone said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again. I would say the same is true for believing the same person who's consistently wrong over and over and over again, expecting a different result. So, yeah. Peace out. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Till next time, I'll see all of you later.